Welcome to Threat Simulation and Modeling Training, powered by Tonex. Threat Simulation and Modeling Training shows you the different sorts of threat modeling procedures and encourages you to apply threat modeling as a propelled preventive type of security. Tonex, as a pioneer in security industry for over 15 years, is presently declaring the threat simulation and modeling training, which encourages you to perceive procedures, apparatuses and contextual investigations of effective threat modeling method. Threat simulation and modeling training course covers a variety of topics in cybersecurity area such as process for attack simulation and threat analysis, POSTA steps, common attack pattern enumeration and classification, CAPEC, threat modeling with SDLC and existing threat modeling approaches. Moreover, you will be introduced to threat analysis, weakness and vulnerability analysis, attack modeling and simulation, and residual risk analysis and management. By taking the threat simulation and modeling training by Tonex, you will learn about the main concepts in threat modeling, application threats, software development life cycle, SDLC, and common types of threats. Threat simulation and modeling training course introduces different techniques of threat modeling which you may apply to your own products to ensure the security, or develop more secure environment for your software product. Learn about POSTA, objectives of risk analysis, risk-centric threat modeling, and weakness and vulnerability analysis basics. Common attack pattern enumeration such as HTTP response splitting, SQL injection, XSS strings, phishing, buffer overflow, authentication protocol attacks, or even cache poisoning. Threat analysis approaches and principles to give you the step-by-step straightforward methodology to conduct the threat modeling and analysis. Moreover, a detailed introduction of existing threat modeling approaches are included in the course. Examples of such approaches can be CVSS, CERT, DREAD, and SDL threat modeling. Who can benefit from threat simulation and modeling training? If you are an IT professional who specialize in computer security, you will benefit the presentations, examples, case studies, discussions, and individual activities upon the completion of threat simulation and modeling training, and will prepare yourself for your career. Threat simulation and modeling training features. Threat simulation and modeling training will introduce a set of labs, workshops and group activities of real-world case studies in order to prepare you to tackle all the related computer threat challenges. Our instructors at Tonex will help you to understand the step-by-step procedure for attack simulation and modeling, such as enumerating the attack vector, assessing the probability of attacks, attack-driven security tests or attack library update. Audience. The Threat Simulation and Modeling Training is a 2-day course designed for IT professionals in the area of information security and cybersecurity, executives and managers of cybersecurity and threat modeling area, information technology professionals, web engineers, security analysts, policy analysts, security operation personnel, network administrators, system integrators and security consultants, security traders to understand the threat modeling techniques, investors and contractors who plan to make investments in cybersecurity industry, technicians, operators, and maintenance personnel who are or will be working on threat modeling projects, managers, accountants, and executives of cybersecurity industry. Training objectives. Upon completion of threat simulation and modeling training course, the attendees are able to identify the goals of threat modeling, recognize the tools for threat modeling, identifying the step-by-step procedure for threat modeling and simulation, describe different types of threats and threat analysis techniques, identify the existing threat modeling approaches and procedures, understand common attack pattern enumeration and classification, describe the process for attack simulation and threat analysis, conduct threat modeling and simulation techniques for real-world problems. Training outline. Threat simulation and modeling training course consists of the following lessons, which can be revised and tailored to the client's need. Threat modeling overview. Definition of threat modeling. Assets, threats, and vulnerabilities. Software implementation, real and perfect world. Network threats. Host threats. Application threats. Software development life cycle, SDLC. Threat modeling steps. Categorizing threats with STRIDE. Spoofing identity. Tampering with data. Repudiation. Information disclosure. Denial of service. Elevation of privilege. Difference between threat and vulnerability. Dread. Integration testing. Introduction to process for attack simulation and threat analysis, PASTA. Objectives of risk analysis. Obtaining the business requirements. Defining data protection requirements. Privacy laws. Initial risk profile. Risk management objectives. Risk-centric threat modeling. Inherent challenges to threat modeling. Input, output for PASTA process. Definition of the technical scope, DTS. Application decomposition and analysis, ADA. Threat analysis. Weakness and vulnerability analysis, WVA. Attack modeling and simulation. Risk analysis and management. Process for attack simulation and threat analysis. Use cases from business objectives. Converging security, compliance, and privacy. PASTA objective hierarchy. Compliance and business impact. Inherent risk. Integration opportunities of PASTA. Enumerate software components. Identify actors and data sources, sinks. Enumerate system-level services. Enumerate third-party infrastructure. Assert completeness of secure technical design. Procurement's impact. Enumerate application use cases. Data flow diagram, DFD, of identified components. Security functional analysis. Common attack pattern enumeration and classification, CAPEC. HTTP response splitting. SQL injection. XSS and HTTP query strings. Session fixation. Phishing. Filter failure through buffer overflow. Removing guard logic. Lifting embedded data. Subvert code facilities. Reflection attack and authentication protocol. Web server misclassification. Forced deadlock. Cache poisoning. RESTful privilege escalation. Threat modeling within SDLC. Identifying assets. Architecture overview. Application decomposition. Threat identification. Threat documentation. Threat rating. Damage potential. Reproducibility. Exploitability. Affected users. Existing threat modeling approaches. Security-centric approach. Security-centric threat models for complex attacks. STRIDE. STRIDE threat categorization table. Common vulnerability scoring system, CVSS. Computer emergency response team, CERT. Common attack pattern enumeration and classification, CAPEC. Risk-based approach in threat modeling. DREAD. Threat analysis and modeling, TAM, threat modeling tool. SDL threat modeling. TRIGE methodology. Threat analysis. Credible source of threat data. Leverage internal sources of data. Enumerate likely threat agents. Threat likelihood value. Analyzing overall threat scenario. Threat intelligence gathering from internal source. Threat intelligence gathering from external source. Threat library update. Threat agents to asset mapping. Probabilistic value around identified threats. Weakness and vulnerability analysis. Correlating the existing vulnerability data. Identifying weak design patterns. Map threats to vulnerabilities. Contextual risk analysis. Targeted vulnerability testing. Attack modeling and simulation. Possible attack scenarios. Attack library update. Attack surface update. Enumerating the attack vectors. Assessing the probability of attacks. Derive a set of cases to test existing countermeasures. Conduct attack-driven security tests. Residual risk analysis and management. Risk assessment. Internal, external threat data. Viability of attacks. Identifying countermeasures. Residual risk calculation. Severity rating. Probability coefficient. Number of countermeasures. Strategies to risk management. Request more information about threat simulation and modeling training. Call Tonex experts. Visit tonex.com.